Encik.
Yeah.
Kita boleh
Singapore
nampak
NC.
dari Captain Dante dari flight aircraft yang macam tu kan, lepas tu dia progress, Captain Dante progress kan, lepas Fokker 50, 737-400, Airbus 330, lepas tu apa, 747,
Yes.
and then you fly, you were the one of the pioneers juga yang flew the Airbus 380 kan, sebab waktu
Yes,
tu
correct.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah.
masa
Pioneer.
tu
Betul.
siapa yang mula-mula tu kena pergi contest. Dia tak training, bukan training dengan Malaysia Airlines, pergi contest. Dan zaman
Correct.
kita,
Contest.
kita dah boleh, kita dah ada kita punya instructor dah. Pada waktu tu instructor kita pun tak ada lagi.
Correct. That's
So
right.
memang daripada aircraft yang paling orang kata paling kurang advance dalam dunia airline kan, sampailah ke aircraft yang paling advance pada ketika tu lah.
Betul.
Boleh
That's right.
cerita sikit pasal pengalaman di Australia, Captain Dante?
Yeah, so the line training that we had to do with Qantas time tu, actually that one also was kira macam nasib lah. Because originally it was not supposed to be me to go down to Australia. It was someone else. But his wife was expecting, so he didn't want to go. And so they asked me to go and replace him lah. So that's how I got the slot actually. So for me personally, I never asked for all these things. Kalau if it's yours, I always believe lah. If it's yours, you will get it lah. So that opportunity, when I got it, was very interesting. We were sent to Qantas for 3 months to fly the aircraft, to do line training with them for 3 months lah. We flew the Sydney, either Sydney or Melbourne, pergi Singapore. Lepas tu from Singapore pergi London. So we did that route, the kangaroo route. So that one was quite interesting. The whole trip alone was about, I think, 5 to 6 days, because every point we night stop. So Singapore night stop 1 night, pergi London sometimes 2 nights. Yeah, so if you can see the gambar tu, that was line training. We just arrived London. This was one of my last flights with them before I completed the line training. So
Are
it's
you
quite
still,
interesting.
do you still keep in touch with the captain, your instructor?
No, unfortunately no. Dulu yes, for a while, but after that, no, I didn't keep in touch with them. They're quite senior. Some of them, like they were retired, or because of the recent pandemic kan. So some of them tak kerja lagi. So it was apa tu, dah different lah. Some of the pilots pun dah tukar dah. Like, but it was a good experience lah. We get to see how they operate in another airline, in Qantas, and we compare. So the funny thing about that experience was, when I was there in Qantas kan, I found out that they were also complaining about the same things that we complained when we were in MAS. So so that was quite interesting. Sebab when, from an outsider's perspective kan, when we were in when in MS, we always think like, oh, we see the other airlines macam SQ or other carriers kan, we thought, oh, must be good lah kan. But actually they complain about the same thing juga. So it was quite funny lah, because I did tell them juga, like, oh, you guys complain about these things too, because these are the things that we complain about, but their benefits lain. So I guess it's always a point of perspective kan, and depends on where you are. So maybe last time their benefits were better and then reduced, so they complain. So it's similar to, I guess, to us in a certain extent, that that's why we complain about those things lah. But similar, memang that part I found to be quite interesting lah. But other than that, was quite good. The pilots kat Qantas too, they were very nice to us. They took care of us quite well. And that time juga, in, I think when we were in London, there was the London Olympics 2012.
Oh, 2012.
So we flew up 2012. During the night stop that time, dia orang ada kawan dekat the London Olympics organizers, so they managed to
Hmm.
get us the access to they had like a watch party dekat Padang,
Huh.
very
Lucky
very
you.
big. So
Wow,
I
lucky
tumpang lah. Yeah,
Tengah.
Wow.
tumpang dia. That was good. That was really good. So they
Hmm.
took care of me very well, and I was quite appreciative of that lah. They were quite fun. And the other thing that I observed also when I was flying with Qantas was that the age gap was quite big compared to us in MAS kan. I mean, in terms of
Mm.
between Qantas versus MAS, because when I was flying there, I was the youngest all the time,
Oh.
and yes, all the time. I was the youngest all the time on that particular aircraft, the 380. And when they operate long haul, they normally operate 4-man crew kan, tapi dia tak operate macam
Hmm.
kita kat MAS.
Hmm.
MAS they operate 2 captains, 2 FOs kan.
Mhm.
In Qantas it was 1 captain, 1 senior FO, 1 FO and 1 second officer. So
Strictly
for my
in that composition.
strictly in that composition. So when I did my line training flight with them, it was 1 captain, then there will be 1 senior FO, then there will be me, and then 1 second officer. And these guys are much older than me. They were 40s. There was 1 second officer who was in his 50s. Memang tua.
Oh.
He's old. So he just joined Qantas from general aviation ke military. I can't really remember. Tapi
Ah.
yeah, so as a second officer, imagine kan, they join Qantas and then they fly the 380, but
Hmm.
they don't do the takeoff and landing on the aeroplane.
They just
So
cruise pilots, is it?
cruise pilot only. So
Cruise
imagine
pilot.
this guy,
Mm.
50
Hmm.
over years old, versus me, who is I think that time was less than 30
Alah.
kot.
No lah,
Less
that's
than 30, I think.
20s lah.
20
20s
something lah, late
lah.
20s lah kan. Late
Uh,
20s,
Young
flying the
man.
aeroplane, taking off and landing. I always wonder how he felt when he don't
Kan?
get that opportunity. Because I don't
Yeah.
think he will ever get the opportunity, because the system overseas is such kan that you have to go through general
Strictly
aviation
rank kan?
dulu ke or military ke kan. Gain
Ah.
your hours, lepas tu then you can masuk the airlines. So yeah, now it's a little bit different. You can see younger people in the airlines,
Mhm.
but that was how it was done all along. So yeah, it was interesting lah. It's quite interesting, and it's different the way because the first officers they are quite experienced, so the level of trust in them is a lot more compared to maybe some of the co-pilots in MAS who are new, right?
Hmm.
When you fly, the captains might not have the trust. Not to say no trust, tapi haven't built the trust enough to trust you enough for certain kind of things in flight. So dia lain sikit lah. You can really see it. And of course, being a Western country, dia orang first name basis je. Tak ada captain.
First name
So
biasa. Ah.
yeah.
kan, they'll be like
Mm-mm.
Amir, Cap, like that lah. They just they,
Yeah.
I know.
but they know the line lah. They don't tak ada pijak kepala or all that lah.
Oh.
So, interesting, very different way of doing things. The SOP pun lain sikit, tapi there are some similarities sebab last time MAS we actually built our SOP based on Qantas SOP. We actually built our procedures based on that dulu back in the days, because I think our DFO back in the days was from Qantas, the first
Makes
guy.
sense.
Yeah. So we have a lot of links with Qantas. We also did the Qantas pilot 330 training. So when they bought the 330, MAS actually did the training for them. So in
Oh,
a way,
okay. Membantu lah.
yeah. So there's a reciprocating arrangement going on lah. So they were quite
Yes.
nice to us, I think. I think because of that, there's a link there. So yeah, interesting, good experience. I think I enjoyed that part really well.